This is where passion meets positivity and optimism. In a world where bad news abounds, You Are Solid Gold with Michele Lau celebrates the good in our lives and the beauty in the hidden gems around us. Welcome to You Are Solid Gold. Here she is, international television host and QVC jewelry expert, Michele Lau.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to You Are Solid Gold with Michele Lau. I'm Michele Lau. I've got Randy Silver here in the studio with me. I met Randy when he interviewed me for his podcast, which is called Leap of Fate. Go check it out. It's very, very good. Randy, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. And it's nice to be on the opposite side versus asking questions. Now I get to be answering questions and having this dialogue. So I appreciate you bringing me on your show today. And to your guest, hello, happy Friday.
Thank you. You know, I love people. I love collecting people, especially good people in my life, which is really the basis for this podcast. But there are certain people that from the minute you meet them, you kind of connect on a different level. And I feel that with you. So I'm very, very excited to be able to spend this time with you. Now, when I met Randy, he had a brand new position with a brand new company, a startup company, and he was just guns blazing, very excited about it. But what happens when you're too good at your job? Randy, tell the story. It's a great story.
Awesome. So, hi, everybody. I'm 28. I live in San Diego, California. I was on an app called Clubhouse, which if you don't know what it is, it's an audio only app. Instagram's for pictures, TikTok's for videos. This is audio Clubhouse. And long story short, I'm very active in it. And the CEO of the startup Neat A/B Testing reached out to me on the app and said, I like what you're talking about. I like your background. I checked you on LinkedIn. I'd like you to come head my sales team at this brand new company I'm starting, 5 employees total. You'll be the chief revenue officer. Someone will be the chief marketing officer. Someone will be head of customer success. We'll have an onboarding specialist. And me, we're going to go make this happen. I really wanted to be part of startup. I've been at Cisco for 5 years. I led teams across the world. So it was a new challenge for me. And as Michele just talked about, the entrepreneurship spirit, I was ready for it. So I stepped into the role, said goodbye to Cisco, left that cush job, insurance, 401k backing to this whole new venture. It was going really well, I guess, so I thought. And after 3 months, I'm sure I can get into details as you ask more questions. They actually told me my services were not needed. And the words were, you have worked yourself out of a job.
Now, this is something that I think is really interesting.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever said that to me before. You've worked yourself out of a job.
Out of a job.
I mean, on one hand, it had to feel fantastic. You've done such a great job. There's nothing left for you to do. And on the other side, you had to be like, oh man, I put my heart and soul into this thing. I don't want to walk away quite yet. And I know how hardworking indeed that you are. So tell me, to take it back mentally for just a moment, how did it feel when that happened? And how did you react?
I was not surprised. I would like to say, if anybody remembers the movie Inception, I created Inception for it to actually happen because I had told my boss a month earlier, I felt like my job was not needed at this point in time because the product wasn't as developed as we thought it was to need someone to do outbound sales. And there were some other factors that were going on that just made it feel like most of the day I was sitting around not having anything to do. And some people probably would look at that and be like, yo, you're getting paid to do nothing? Sick. I look at that as like, no, like I want to work. I want to be part of it. Like I feel bad. And again, because I'm a CRO, I have high equity in the company and like I need the company to be successful. And to be successful, I need to do sales. So after a month and the next month went by, now we're at month 3, he was very communicative with me through the whole process. And he put a meeting on my calendar, said, hey, Randy, can we meet at 12:30? And nothing in the body of the invite. I was like, ooh, I think I know what this meeting's about. And he started talking, he tried to like small talk. And I was like, hey, we'll call him John Doe just for the purpose of conversation. Hey, John Doe, just shoot me straight. I think I know what you're about to say. And he told me, and obviously, you get that gut feeling. You're like, why me? How did I fail? What goes on? What was wrong? And I happened to be at my aunt's house that day. I was helping her take care of her dog and I had lunch with her and she looked at me, she goes, you look a little bit down. What's wrong? And I just told her, and it was probably almost a blessing in disguise that I was there. I hadn't been there in like 3 or 4 months. And we could just talk it through and it really helped me understand and feel good to have someone there versus me right here. I'm in my room working remotely. I would have been sulking in my own misery per se. So, throw your pity party for a day and then you move forward and you're like, okay, how do I continue on with my life, and what do I need to do to be successful in my next venture?
The reason I wanted to do this interview with you, Randy, and for the people that are listening out there, is I spoke with Randy shortly after it happened. And this was not a man that was downtrodden. This was not a man who was bitter. This is not a man who disliked the people he was working for. In fact, quite exactly diametrically the opposite. He had wonderful things to say about the company, really likes his boss, left with the best of intentions, and was very upbeat. And I thought I could take a page from this young man's reactions. And so I want to challenge you, if you do find yourself in this situation, to look at it like Randy Silver did, because you are doing and already making some really positive strides, aren't you?
Yeah. And I would say there's two reasons I look at that. One is, as I said, I have equity in the company. So if I went around and talked bad about the company that people I work with, maybe they try to like get the equity away from me, which would not be good, of course. And two, then the company's not successful. That's just not helping anybody. And two, if you, like you said, leap of fate, you came on and talked about your positivity message and how you've overcome adversity in your life. I need to practice the same message that I'm putting out there in the world, or I'm a fraud. I'm fake.
You are anything but that. I mean, that is one of the things that I know is going to make you so super successful in this, is that you are very authentic. You're very raw. You're very willing to share, you know, and to be very gracious with everybody around you.
I have a lot of good experience, but when you put that on a resume, people right now when I'm interviewing is like, I need 10 years of sales management experience. I need 5 years at this. I need 8 years at this. And I've done everything that says it. I just don't have the number of years, even though I've done it, because I got to where I was at such a young level. I'm having trouble getting the positions I want per se, because I don't fit the qualifications. But as you said, if you meet me and talk to me, you'd be like, oh my God, this guy's super bright and intelligent. So how do I get myself to stand out on a paper resume when there's 25 people applying for the same job? That's what I'm trying to do.
First of all, I would probably leave the dates off of the resume. That would be me. They don't have to know how long you were in each of the positions, right? And then I would challenge you that a company that's going to hold you to that and not hire you because of that is maybe not the company that you want to be with. I mean, to me, a guy that's so upperly mobile that he's breaking all the ceilings within the first number of years that he's with a company like Cisco would be somebody that I would say, this is a grower. This is a leader. This is somebody that I'm going to have with me for a while in a high level position. So yeah, you don't want those jobs that are asking you for those dates, but I would take the dates off of your resume. There are things that you can do, and talking to a professional coach, I think is something else that I would recommend for somebody that is finding themselves in this position, maybe for the first time in their life.
That's an interesting advice, because I've never thought about taking the dates off.
It is interesting. I mean, do you tally the number of years you've been with the company and not the number of, or not the little bites? You know, you document the gulp and not the bites. I like that. I might have to use that again. Do you know what I mean though?
Yeah.
Because really you've done all of the jobs. You've learned them to a point where it merited an evolution, a bump up and a bump up and a bump up and a bump up again in one of the world's largest companies in their category. I don't know. I would think that the dates wouldn't matter.
Yeah. And then the good part is, as you said, I did so well there and I have such amazing relationships. I can always go back there. I've already been reached out to people like, hey, want to come back? But devil's advocate is I was only at the start for 3 months and I have that entrepreneurship spirit. I feel like I need to stay with the startup again, do something that's maybe a series A startup or series B where there's more funding, more backing. And I don't have to have this worry about losing my job because it's bootstrap. There'll be more security there. And I can really do the same thing of trying to build it out as I was trying to do earlier.
So you are the first person I've ever heard that someone has said you've worked yourself out of a job.
You can keep saying it. I love it.
I just love it. I think you need to have a t-shirt made. I just think it's fantastic. Wear that under your jacket to the interview or something. But what advice would you give somebody that maybe finds themselves in that position while they're in the position? Like, what could you have done differently? Could you have found another role within the organization to have saved yourself? Or was there just no way out in this case?
There was no way out. The only way out would have been taking a severe pay cut, which I could have done, but then there would be devaluing who I was and almost like a demotion when there's only 5 people. And I think for myself and my conscious integrity, I couldn't do that. You hired me for a reason. If you're going to devalue me that much, then you need to hire someone who is a less mature person. I'll go get the job that I've been hired to do. The only thing I think I could have done differently was nothing. Like transparently, like, and honestly,
that's honest.
The boss, like, words he said, like, you work yourself a job, you know, the customer side, we needed to get a bunch of reviews on the website. Every customer put working with Randy was amazing. So I did everything customer side. On the sales side, anything they needed, I got the correct number of dials, number of emails. I got the people on the phone. I did everything asked of me and more. It's just sometimes in life, you get lemons and you make orange juice. It just wasn't the right opportunity for what was needed. And they need to take a step back before they could have someone ready for what I was doing.
So do you feel like leaving Cisco and going to work for a startup was beneficial in that you learned a different or new skill set? Or in retrospect, do you wish that you would have maybe been more measured before you took the leap?
If you ask my parents, they'll give you one answer.
Yeah, no, mine too. I remember when I left a job at a newspaper where I was a union person in journalism for the St. Paul Pioneer Press. And I remember my dad telling me, because he's a union guy through and through, his whole career. Mm-hmm. And I remember him telling me that I was crazy to take that chance. And I am so happy that I did. I think chances are what life is all about. You know that. You and I have talked about this before. Yep. So I'm actually really excited to see what happens with you.
Yeah, I think it was a good call. I found myself being, after 5-6 years at Cisco, a little bit drowned out, kind of lost that spark of wanting to get up every morning to do what I was doing to do. And I needed something different in my life to give me that. So it was the right opportunity at the right time. And I learned a lot about building a business. I had to stand up the whole sales org, stand up the whole customer onboarding org. I learned a lot about e-commerce space, which obviously with the pandemic, hopefully everyone's still safe, is booming. So I was able to get myself out of the IT space. Now I know this whole e-com space, and it gives me more diversity in what I've been able to do, resume builder, and a whole new field that I can still go tackle.
Yes, and makes you a better overall well-rounded employee. Exactly. I call it ticket punching. Like, remember on the old fashioned trains when they used to have their, and you mentioned that to me, that term earlier, which I thought was really interesting. Yeah, ticket punching. So every job that you do leads you to a different destination, leaves you further away from where you began. So I think it's fantastic. All right, so you're done with the pity party. You said that lasted about a day. I don't think it even lasted that long. You're out there motivating people along the way. You're working on your podcast, Leap of Faith. What are you going to do constructively to move yourself forward from here?
So what I've already done is I've updated my resume, of course. I've had multiple people review my resume. In my old career at Cisco, I was looking at resumes, honestly, weekly. So I kind of knew what to do, but, dot the I's, cross the T's, spell check. I've gone to Ziprecruiter, I've gone to LinkedIn, I've gone to Indeed, I've gone to the company websites I would love to work for. I've reached out to you. I've reached out to Victoria Wick. I've reached out to other people in my network who I know are well positioned. They have a good network around them who could help me. And the best part was, like, as you said on my podcast, I had so much great content. I transparently told my story to people, and the feedback I got back was amazing. And all the people were like, "Oh my God, Randy, our company would love to have you. Hey, Randy, I know someone who'd love to have you." So I've had so many different referrals of people giving me the opportunity to interview. So, I did not do the podcast as self-promotion to say, try to hire me, because I wanted to inspire people to know that not everything is roses. There are bumps in the road, and I'm in a bump, but it's helped me get my name out there for looking for new opportunities.
Yeah, it's therapeutic. And I think one of the hardest things is talking about it after it happens. Even though you know that you worked yourself out of the job, even though you know you did a great job for them and they're happy with you and you love them and all of that. It's a big love fest. You're still without a job at the end of the day. So it's hard to motivate and hard to get yourself to make a positive change, to make a positive motion. It's that motion. It'd be really easy just to take a long summer, for example, and head to the beach. But you have to keep stimulated, I guess, is the thing. People that are entrepreneurial like you and I, we need to be stimulated. We need to feel like we're learning and growing and changing every day.
Yeah, I would say the one positive is, like, I guess I've never woken up past 8 a.m. in like 6 years, and I'm waking up like 8:30 because I can apply. So, like, it is nice to sleep in. I'll give it that. But you're right. Like, I wake up and I'm just like, I don't have a work to do today. And it's like, it stresses me out not having a job, when it should be the opposite, because I want to work. I want to be successful. And it stresses me out not having that next chapter in my life right now. But the podcast has been keeping me super busy.
Good. I'm really glad, and much success to you in that. It's really growing and it's really fun to listen to. I really enjoy it a lot. Is there anything else that you'd like to leave our viewers and listeners with?
My whole mantra is positivity. So out there, if it's work, if it's life, whatever it is, stay positive. There's gonna be bumps in the road in life, whatever that may be. But as long as you keep the right mindset and you keep yourself positive, it will work out and you'll be successful in whatever that may be.
Great. And if anybody's looking for Randy, can they email you through your podcast website, or how would they do that?
So go to YouTube, type in Leap of Fate, Fate, Leap of Fate, and then you can go ahead and subscribe and like. My personal Instagram is Randy Silver 09. Just go ahead and DM me there. If you want to do anything, if you love to talk about the podcast, you want to come on and share your story, I'm an open book, and I love to just meet people and grow the network like meeting Michele. I met Michele through Victoria. She's like, yo, I have someone I think would be really good for you to bring on your podcast. And here I am on hers. We've talked multiple times about podcasting in general. And I feel like I've made a lifelong friend in Michele. And I would love to make that out of you, your audience as well.
Thank you very much, Randy. Thank you for being with us. You really are solid gold.
My pleasure. One team,
See
one
you
dream.
again.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Get out there and shine, everybody. Until next time.
Thank you for joining us on You Are Solid Gold. We hope that you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you. Would you please subscribe, like, and share this episode? If you know of a person, place, or thing that is a hidden gem that we should feature on Solid Gold with Michele Lau, please submit it for consideration at hello@youaresolidgold.com. Now, get out there and shine.